What's up everyone, your friendly neighborhood onesie guy here, welcoming you back to another card reveal video. Hope you've had a fantastic week. I know the cards have been insane this week, and we still got a big deals reveal coming up tomorrow, which I also will be covering. So today the cards we're going to look at, none of them are really game breaking. There's some really interesting cards here that can set up some really interesting plays, and three of them are cards I didn't expect to see, and you'll see these are the first three that I'm going to go ahead and show you now. So let's jump into the first one. So we have Pelican Diver, a 1 mana 4/1 beast, so great stats already. Dormant for 1 turn and then has Rush. So for those of you not familiar with Dormant, when you play this, it can't be interacted with until the following turn when it comes out of being dormant. This is a great card for early board pressure, so your opponent knows they're going to have that 4/1 coming straight at whatever minion they want to play. If they're going to play an early Trog or something else, then they know they've got that pressure on board. This as well can synergize off turn 1 and turn 2 possibly with something like bioluminescence. So if you have 2 of these in hand, maybe you wait for your first turn, play 2 of these on turn 2, bioluminescence on turn 3, possibly coin something out as well, and you've got already 3 minions with 3 spell damage there. This can also be played later in the game in the same way to just get cheap minions on board with pretty decent stats, so you can still cast your spells maybe to face, and then use these to clear up whatever is left on board if need be. So I think this is a pretty cool card, really nice effect, and can have a lot of upside in a lot of different decks. Next up we have a 3 mana 2 for Murloc, Slime Scale Diver, also dormant 1 with Rush and Poisonous. So another game disrupting card. As I've said before, with dormant you put it down and can't be interacted with, but now with this having Rush and Poisonous, it definitely has something for your opponent to think about. Say on turn 4 or 5 or whenever you play this, they were looking to play a bigger minion with a bigger effect, and you might be disrupting that game plan of theirs and disrupting some possible combo by this looming the next turn. Like, they cannot take this off the board, so they may have to change up their strategy based off this so that they don't lose a very important vital minion. This could obviously also work in other Murloc builds with Shaman Murloc. So far Shaman Murloc doesn't seem to be having quite the pace it could be. However, like I've mentioned before, with the Shaman Murloc synergies that are going to happen with bioluminescence, we could have a combination of a Murloc Shaman with those burn aspects in it. So getting a board full of minions, putting out bioluminescence, and then just dishing out a lot of damage. This card in particular would be more of a deterrent for the opponent to play something bigger on the next turn. So yeah, it can be a very techy disruptive card. If Murloc Shaman does become a thing, I'm sure this will fit right in there. I see that there has been some Murlocs obviously released for Warlock as well, so could this fit in there? We'll have to wait and see. Any other builds around this, I mean, even just the stats and the effects without the Murloc tagline could prove pretty useful just as a disruption tool against decks that do run bigger minions, especially decks that cheat out bigger minions, that you can get rid of those pretty easily and then possibly just ship whatever other damage to face. Next up we have a 5 mana 6/4 pirate, Gank Diver, dormant for 1 turn, Rush and immune while attacking. So pretty decent stats all round. Again, being a pirate, this can fit really nicely into the pirate warrior quest warrior build. It could also possibly fit into the new archetype they're trying to build, or say, revitalize with a pirate rogue, because it is a neutral card, it fits in anywhere. This could be nice just to play out of hand for quest warriors, to just have another pirate on board. If you do get this off Rokara, and get this off the Juggernaut, it obviously won't activate right away, but it could be then another pirate that's just out there that cannot be taken off the board with a pretty high attack, that the following turn you could end it off with a Mr. Smite from hand, being able to hit 12 damage straight, because this has rush, but obviously with Mr. Smite it gives every pirate charge. So this could be also a bit of a game-ending swing if it does come off Juggernaut, or if you've just played it out and the next turn then you'll have enough damage to finish the game. So all around, I think it's a really strong card. Definitely see it being played in the Quest Warrior build, and depending on how good the Rogue Pirate build is, we definitely see where it can land up in there. Then we have this big boy over here, a 20 mana 8/8 Naga, giant Naga. Costs 1 less for each mana you've spent on spells this game. So not, each spell you've cast, but each mana you've spent on this. So again, it's a neutral minion, can fit into any deck. Based on things, I can definitely see this probably fitting into a Warlock deck. Warlock, does tend to spend mana on spells quite a bit. Shaman could also be running this deck pretty reliably. Even Paladin with their holy spell buffs could end up running this just as a big boy that you can add some more stats to. Of course, Mage, if you are running a minion Mage deck. We've seen Mage, the minion-based versions, going more towards mechs, but again, this is just kind of end up being a free cost minion in a lot of spell-based decks, with the usual 8/8 stats that all the giants have. So you could reliably get this down to a playable point pretty quickly and easily in most decks. However, with how current metas are, and the other cards we've seen in the other archetypes that are trying to build, I don't see where this would fit in. Obviously a powerful card in its own right, but I don't see a spot currently in any of the decks for this, unfortunately. Then we have a 2 mana spell for Mage, Volcanomancy. Choose a minion. When it dies, deal 3 damage to all other minions. So pretty neat board clear. Early game board clear, or just early game damage, maybe to get your certain spells into honorable kill range, or into range to clear off that big annoying minion. With this, you could choose a very small minion, ping that minion, do 3 damage to all other minions, possibly clearing the board or softening up enemies for later interactions. And also, maybe this could somehow fit into a spell damage build. Mozaki Mage won't be around for much longer after this comes into play, seeing that Mozaki is rotating out. So that's not really a thing for the cost of the card. It is a fire spell, so it could fit also again into a Quest Mage build to give Quest Mage some more variation with their fire spells as well. Again, this does require to choose a minion. It doesn't say choose an enemy minion though, so you could choose your own minion and possibly set up a board clear on the other side. Or like I said, quest activation from your side as well. It is quite a cheap cost card, so I'm sure this will find a place in a number of Mage builds. Again, we are going to see some additional stuff rotating in from the core set, so based on that, this is a pretty decently strong card, and I do think it will see play. And lastly, we have a 7 mana 5/4 Naga for Shaman, the Wrathspine Enchanter. Battlecry, cast a copy of a Fire, Frost, and Nature spells in your hand. Targets chosen randomly. So the random target positioning is always a bit sketchy unless the spell it specifically says target an opponent minion or targets enemies, which you can kind of engineer in a way. This could be played not really as a game ender, but as just possibly something to ramp up some extra damage. Again, you might have a number of other minions on board already with that additional spell damage, and certain spells that you are certain will go face. Could also be a bit of a dice roll as to what happens there. We also saw the elemental yesterday that gives you different effects for different spells. So in this case, the fire spell, whatever it is in your hand, would deal an extra 2 damage. The nature spell is not really a thing because you're casting this from hand anyway. And then the frost spell will definitely go ahead and give you armor. So if you are in a pinch and you play this down, you could see yourself, maybe getting out of range of lethal from the other side, doing some board clears, hopefully not targeting yourself and ending the game. So that random element is, a bit concerning. The stat line isn't that great. The card is pretty expensive. But in certain situations, I can see this working out quite well just to either save yourself, possibly even ending a game if all the spells you have do go face and you have a bunch of spell damage on board. So I'm sure this card can be engineered into spell damage decks. However, just looking at it at face value, powerful card, but I can't see a place where this gets played. Especially in decks, more aggro decks that do want to play the game a lot faster. Yeah, so those are the cards that were released overnight and that I'm looking at today. There are some other cards being released today, but I will do a review on those tomorrow. Yeah, nothing too hectic today. This, like I said, is a very interesting card, and all the Diver Dormant cards are pretty interesting as they can mess up your opponent's turn, force them to change their tactics, or just provide extra damage when needed. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, as always, if you do and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, as it helps me grow the channel so that I can possibly do this full time. So wherever you're watching this from, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye for now.